always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Aseel. Hello guys, how is everyone doing? It's been such a week, right? Anyways, the weather outside is beautiful. It's kind of chilly, but I absolutely love it. You know what I'm drinking right now? I'm drinking bubbly sparkling water. So I don't like to drink soda pops or any Coke products because they're high in sugars and blah blah blah. But I'm now drinking sparkling water because I kind of miss drinking anything with some sizzle in it. And I remember the days in Italy when I would be asking for water and I would only be getting sparkling water. I don't know why. Maybe in Verona, that's where I stayed at. Only in Verona for some reason. I assume it was all over Italy because everywhere I went, they would just give you sparkling water. But they love drinking sparkling water. And I just remembered that because when I was in Italy and I would be like, hi, can I have, water? And they would just give you sparkling water. You have to be you have to tell them in specific, like, I want regular water, not sparkling water, because they drink it heavily there. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but I'm just saying, if you travel to Italy, have yourself sparkling water over there too, but you gotta tell them that you want regular water as well. I mean, both is good, but sometimes you just want to have regular water, and sometimes you want to have sparkling water with some, some taste to it, and that's what I'm having today. So how is everyone doing? So today we will be covering the David Dobrik misconduct allegations. We will also talk about Sandra Oh speaking out on all the Asian discrimination right now going on. We will also talk about Kylie Jenner's new dramatic story, new trending story. And if you stick around till the end, I'm bringing my sister and we're going to be talking about On My Block's new season and maybe potentially spoilers. I don't know. Stick around. So I'm going to start off and talk about David Dobrik. So before I speak about him and his allegation misconduct, I think it's really important to talk about who he is and understand why it's such a big deal. This is coming to light and why a lot of people are talking about it and why it's becoming a trend really everywhere, whether it was TikTok, even Facebook, Instagram, all over the news, really, because he has a huge followings of people on YouTube, and that is one of the biggest reasons as to why the whole story about him has become viral. So David is a US-based YouTuber, comedian, actor, and a podcaster. And he's actually not American. He's from Slovak, and he's the co-founder of the Dispo app. He found his early success on Vine. If you know what that platform is, it was kind of like TikTok, but it was 15 seconds per video. And that was before he started his vlog on YouTube in 2015. And he's also known for being the leader on the YouTube Vlog Squad, group, which features his vlogs in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. It's if you go on his YouTube channel, you'll understand every video of his is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And as of now, he has over 18 million subscribers and over 8 billion views all over his channel. So you kind of now get to understand, and you understand the gist of why anything about him becomes viral. He has a lot of followers. Even in 2020, he was called the Gen Z's Jimmy Fallon by the Wall Street Journal. So he is a big deal to a lot of young adults. Before anything, David Dobrik has been problematic before in a story that's similar to what I'm going to talk about, because this is more than one person coming out to speak about the sexual harassment they went through. Joseph, and let me spell his name, Joseph Francois, I hope I'm saying his name right. Anyways, he is widely known on the internet for Seth. And he was in David Dobrik's Vlog Squad video. And in one of the videos, there was a prank. And if you know David's content, he does a lot of pranks with his, squad. And he came out and spoke about how the industry needs to know about the damage that he went through. He also talked about him being targeted because of his color and how a lot of things he experienced caused him trauma. And he even said the most horrific experience, and I'm still experiencing trauma, is that bit with Jason Nash. And this is when Dobrik said he is going to pull a prank on Francois by making him believe he's making out with another Vlog Squad member, Karina, who was supposed to be wearing a disguise. In reality, though, he was making out with another member, Nash, who was the person in disguise. So, and the video has over 10 million views, and it was titled, "He Thought He Was Kissing Her." Honestly, so cringy. And it's very unfortunate, but obviously Joseph said that he never gave consent to kiss Nash. And at the time, he knew it was wrong. And later on, he decided to come out about it. And this was a long time ago, a couple of years ago. Dobrik didn't even delete the video, even though Joseph made it very clear that what happened to him was wrong. And he felt like he was sexually abused, and it was on video. And he just wanted to help teach a lesson about abuse of power and inspire others, to go out there and speak about their experience and if they went through this similar things. And this is where we're going to talk about David Dobrik's new story about sexual allegations, because another story resurfaced the internet about girls who were in his Vlog Squad, and this one. I also want to say that David Dobrik did post a recent apology video to Seth Francois. I really hope I'm saying his name right. And a lot of people just said that it's a fake apology video. It's late. Why is it now? Even Trisha Paytas, she tore him apart. And she said that he ruined people's lives, with his fake apology video. Trisha Paytas literally dragged him on Twitter. There's a whole thread on Twitter. I would suggest you guys go read it. But basically, she did talk about all his wrong behavior and what he put her through and put others through. And recently, what's been going on is the whole Vlog Squad is under fire. Everyone is talking about them. Their eyes are on them because an anonymous girl came forward and she said that she was drugged and raped while the group created a whole video. And this was in 2018, guys. But she came out forward right now. So she is anonymous, but she goes by Hannah. She said she visited the Vlog Squad's mansion in LA with a few friends who were big fans of his. She didn't even know who the Vlog Squad was, but she just went with her friends. She was 20 years old at the time. And she also said that members of the group pressured her and her friends to drink. And according to Hannah, once they arrived, they were told by Don, one of the squad members, they were there to film a video where he had a fivesome with her and her friends. All of her friends said no. They made it very, certain that they were uncomfortable with the concept and they did not want to do it. Hannah said that they gave her and her friends alcohol supplied by Smith throughout the night. And these are all names, Smith and all of them are part of the vlog squad. And then she also said that her friends later told her that Don continued to ply her with alcohol, and then he had sex with her even though she was blacked out drunk and wasn't even able to consent to him. She didn't even give him, the okay to even have that happen. This is actually so sickening. And to actually have this all on video, and, this was on YouTube, guys, but no one ever saw it coming. No one ever would have thought that these girls did not want this. And the next morning, Hannah said she woke up and she had no recollection of the previous evening at the Vlog Squad's mansion. Her friend even ended up helping her throw up in order to get her back to her dorm room. And what's very unfortunate is the experience became part of the Vlog Squad video that implied that Dom had a consensual threesome with Hannah and a friend. Obviously, in the YouTube video, it seemed like she had a lot of fun, but she said, which is not what happened. I was exploited for content and stripped of autonomy and a voice. And obviously, this isn't the first sexual assault allegation with the Vlog Squad. We talked about Joseph and what he went through. So far, no charges have been filed, and the accuser, Hannah, said she has not yet contacted the police either. But let's talk about what happened to David right now, after all of this. David Dobrik's career is facing huge challenges. I don't think he ever saw coming after, the two girls came forward, after they said that they were victims of sexual assaults through 2 of his vlogs. So he did issue a 2-minute apology video on YouTube, and I'm going to wrap it up and tell you guys what he said. He said many things to the camera. He said, I put myself in a lot of situations where I needed to apologize for my past actions, and I've never done this correctly. I've never done this respectfully, and my last video is a statement to that. And he also mentions that he doesn't want to defend his other apology video or wants to delete it. He just wants to be very clear with it. And that was the one with the whole, Joseph allegations. He also said, I got consent to post the video, but even though I got consent, I should have never posted it. What I understand now is she sent that text because she felt like she had to, not because she wanted to. And that's effed up, and I'm sorry. I was completely disconnected from the fact that when people were invited to film videos with us, especially videos that relied on a shock for views or whatever it was, that I was creating an unfair power dynamic. I did not know this before. It was completely wrong. I didn't know what was going on in the room, and I should have been there. He also apologized to the girls and said, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys. I'm sorry that I took Dom's word for what happened in those certain situations and I didn't believe you. Not only did I not believe you, but I made a joke of what kind of a person Dom was because I couldn't wrap my head around a childhood friend of mine doing this to people. Not only didn't I discredit you, Ellie, but I platformed Dom. And I platformed sexual assault in a negative way where I made jokes about it and I reinforced that kind of behavior. I really let you down and a lot of people down. I did address a lot of what happened, and he, you can tell he feels really bad about what happened and wants to change the situation and wants to help the girls out. He also will be taking a short break from social media. He said it doesn't feel right to go back to posting like I have been, and it doesn't feel right to go dark because I love what I do. But I feel like it's important to show that change is possible and I'm learning. Maybe even forgiveness is possible. I also do want to mention that when he addressed the situation in the 2-minute long video, David lost many brand deals with HelloFresh, HBO Max, DoorDash, EA Sports, and Dollar Shave Club. And also, not to mention again that he stepped down from his developing company in Dispo. So you can tell that there's a lot that has happened to him, even though he was not the one that really did the act, but he was a part of it because he is taking responsibility for it as well, and what his friend did and believing his friend over the victims. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I'm pretty sure the story is not going to end anytime soon. I'm pretty sure even though he's taking a break from social media, there's going to be a lot going on. It's just, I think, a matter of time as well. We're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen, what new statements are going to come out. So guys, stay tuned because we still are going to talk about Kylie Jenner, Sandra Oh, and featuring my sister at the end on my blog.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, guys, and welcome back. So before we start talking about Kylie Jenner's new outrage story, let's have a recap about what we talked about in the past. Well, in the last segment, So in the last segment, we spoke about David Dobrik's misconduct sexual allegations that were all over the internet, and that really involved his vlog squad members, specifically one member, and, his apology video, Trisha Paytas dragging him on Twitter, and really what has led all this to happen and how much it has affected his career so far. And also we spoke about the stories of the victims and his apology video, and now we're going to talk about Kylie Jenner. So let's talk about who Kylie Jenner is, in case you don't know who Kylie is. She is an American media personality, reality TV star, model, and a huge businesswoman. If you know Kylie Cosmetics, you know Kylie. She's been on E! For her reality TV show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, since 2007. And like I said, she is the owner of the cosmetic company, Kylie Cosmetics. At 14, she collaborated with the clothing brand PacSun alongside with her sister Kendall. And they created a line of clothing called Kendall and Kylie. In 2015, she launched her own cosmetic line called Kylie Lip Kits, which now she renamed it to Kylie Cosmetic like the following year. And she even reached #1 on the iTunes App Store because of her mobile app, Kylie and Kendall. In 2014 and 2015, Time magazine listed the Jenner sisters on their list of the most influential teens in the world, citing their considerable influence among youth on social media. In 2020, with over at the time she had 206 million followers. Right now, actually, she has 222 million followers. She is one of the most followed people on Instagram. In 2017, she was placed on the Forbes Celebrity 100 list as the youngest person to be featured on the list. She even had her own spin-off of Life of Kylie, And in 2018, she was credited by the New York Post for her being the most influential celebrity in the fashion industry. In 2019, and that was one of her biggest accomplishments, I think everyone was talking about this, is the fact that Forbes came out and said that Jenner's net worth was estimated to $1 billion at the age of 21, making her the youngest or the world's youngest self-made billionaire as of March 2019. A lot of people said that she was not a self-made billionaire, and that was a lot of controversy at the time because, you know, she was born into a family that's very, very, very wealthy. She was given the opportunity of being successful, you know, versus a lot of people who don't have the opportunity and really start from zero. Kylie never started from zero. She started from the top and made herself, you know, very successful and wealthier than she was. And not to mention, Kylie even has her own skin line called Kylie Skin, and she released that in 2019, and till this day is successful. Honestly, I feel like anything that has Kylie's name on it, you know, she just puts her name on it and people would buy, even if it's not good, you know. And that is a huge factor as to why she's successful, because people love her brand, they love her name, they love her Instagram, and she uses her social media as the biggest platform to really market for her products. You know, someone who has over 200 million followers, can you imagine the amount of influence she has on others and her brand or her business, especially with all the collections that she releases that are kind of unique, or let's say different, with each of her sisters. You know, she comes out with Kendall or Chloe or Kim or Courtney. She would, every once in a while, she would come up with something different with each of her siblings. And I think, you know, with being very smart about it and using social media is very smart. I mean, who wouldn't? If I had 200 million followers and a business, I'm pretty sure it would top off a lot and it would help my business, you know, be successful and, you know, sell out in minutes. And that's what happens to her. She sells out in literally minutes of her launching anything that she wants out there. I also want to talk about how much she was getting paid in 2019 for her Instagram posts alone. She was getting paid and I'm saying was because this was in 2019. I'm pretty sure the number has gotten way greater than that right now. But she was getting paid $1.2 million for a single post on Instagram, which makes her the highest paid Instagram influencer at the time in 2019. And I think this is very relevant to what I'm going to talk about. This is why I'm talking about how much she's making per, you know, advertisement or endorsements in general. Because honestly, she is making more money in one post on Instagram than many people earn in a lifetime. Can you imagine just waking up one day and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to advertise for, you know, my drink today or this pencil that I'm using and I'm getting paid almost $2 million for it. I mean, come on, I would be posting so many advertisements. But to her, you know, I feel like $1 million to someone who's a billionaire is like 2 cents to someone who has $10, you know, in their pocket. So anyways, this is relevant because what we're going to talk about right now has to do with how rich she is or how wealthy she is and why that makes it a huge factor in the story. So I was scrolling through TikTok when someone was calling out Kylie Jenner for not giving enough money for her friend who was in need. And I was like, interesting. I mean, someone who has over $900 million, you know, should be able to afford $60,000 because that was originally how much the GoFundMe asked for Samuel, the makeup artist. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to look into this more. She posted on Instagram Live asking for donations to cover for Samuel's medical expenses, and he is a very popular makeup artist. After he was in a serious accident, she contributed $5,000 to the cause, which initially had a goal of 10,000 that was raised to over 120,000 after, donations skyrocketed following her social media plea. So obviously, with her influence, a lot of people did go and donate. But this is when a lot of people called her out on it and said, you're a millionaire and you're just giving $5,000 when you could have just handled the full, expenses for him. Because what is $60,000 for her? If she can make $1 million per post on Instagram, $60,000 is like 30 cents for someone who has $1 in his pocket, honestly. So to her, this is nothing. So a lot of people were just like, she is not being humble and very greedy on the whole situation. So the internet was outraged with the whole story. They were calling her out on it. A lot of people defended her, saying she can spend her money on what she wants. But it's the moral of the story and the fact that her friend, or Sam, wasn't an accident, the makeup artist, and he was a part of her life and she should have helped, So what do you guys... So, moments after the whole outrage, people talking about this, Kylie Jenner took it to Instagram and she posted on her story why this whole thing shouldn't have happened, why this is even a big deal, or people are making it into a story when it's not the way the narrative is. She posted 2 stories on her Instagram and she said, I feel it's important for me to clear up this false narrative that I've asked fans for money and I'm not paying for my makeup artist's medical bills. So obviously she wanted to defend herself. If I was in her position, I would want to defend myself too, especially that she really was trending everywhere, guys. And whether it was literally, I think mostly on Twitter, because I feel like anything on Twitter goes viral nowadays and people just want to talk about something. But this was obvious because she's a millionaire, very huge influential person, and her makeup artist being in need of money and you're going to go out of your way to ask your fans, I think it's unnecessary. So this is why she came out and to defend herself. I'm sorry, I kind of stuttered there. But to continue what we were talking about, she said, Sam isn't my makeup artist, and unfortunately we don't have a personal relationship anymore, but I have worked with him a few years ago and think he's the sweetest. I saw my current makeup artist and friend Ariel post about Sam's accident and his family's GoFundMe, and I called Ariel immediately to see what happened to Sam. After learning in more detail about the accident, it compelled me to visit his GoFundMe, which was set at $10K. They had already raised $6K, so I put in $5K to reach the original goal and thought I'd post on my stories to gain more awareness, if anyone also felt compelled to share or donate. I don't know how all of this got so twisted, but his family has reached out through Ariel and are very appreciative of all the donations, prayers, and love towards Sam. And then she continued on with saying, anyone that knows me knows that I do things from the heart and I try to be helpful whenever I can be. Let's all stay positive and keep Sam, his family, and anyone you know who is going through a difficult time in our prayers. I hope you have a beautiful day, and let's encourage each other to help. So a lot of fans said that she is very generous and that they agree with her statement. She came out and wanted to help out rather than cause, any controversy or wanted to cause any drama from happening. And, a lot of people said that she gets to use her wealth the way she wants. This whole story was just a full misunderstanding and she just wanted to help out rather than hinder the situation. And while a lot of people said regardless she should have contributed way more than $5K, she has millions and millions in her bank account, I personally kind of understand her situation. I think because I don't know Kylie. I don't think I would ever be able to get to know her on a personal level, but if I was in her situation and I saw a GoFundMe, I would obviously contribute to meet the goal. But that's the thing. People assume that she should have done more than that. She came out there, defended herself, as a person, because I don't think she would, if anyone else would have, even came out there and spoke or defended themselves, but the fact that she wanted to extend an arm to talk about her side of the story really tells a lot about who she is and why she doesn't want people to misunderstand her or her personality or who she is as a person. And then when she talked about how she is kind and caring towards others, you kind of might see that, with given the situation that's happened, especially that she doesn't even know or doesn't have a personal relationship with Samuel, but regardless, she wanted to help and she wanted everyone else to be a part of the GoFundMe and be able to help if they can. Especially that she made sure that they reached their full goal to reach the 10K and help him out. So this really depends on how you see things and what you think her side of the story is, or if you believe her or not. I personally believe her, and I think, every person is on their own, and she wants to help out, and she did, and she wanted others to help out. I think if she knew him on a personal level, she wouldn't have asked for a GoFundMe, because she probably would have been first to help out and being first to reach out to them, and whether it was for anything. So really, I would love to know your thoughts on this. I'm pretty sure Twitter is doing enough on that, but if you don't even know who Kylie is, what do you think? Stay tuned, because in the next segment, we will be talking about On My Block, featuring my sister and Sandra Oh speaking out on the Asian community and the discrimination that's been happening against them.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello guys, and welcome back. Hey guys, again, so we're going to do a recap on what we talked about in the previous segments. We did talk about David Dobrik and the sexual allegations going on against him and his vlog squad. We also are talking about, we talked about Kylie Jenner and what resurfaced the internet about her recently. And today we're also going to be talking about all the hate that's been going on with the Asian community, unfortunately, and Sandra Oh speaking out against it, and potentially other celebrities. And if you stay tuned on our last segment, I'm going to have my sister join me, and we're going to talk about On My Block, the series on Netflix, one of my favorite shows. Now, I fully understand that this is an entertainment podcast, so I'm not going to be political about this, but we have talked about before how celebrities make an impact with their voice being heard, and, they could also shift so many perspectives, and their voice could also make a change. So I think it's important to add that into retrospect and to also recognize that their voices are heard and that they could create a lot of change in our communities around us, and that anything going on really has an impact on us. So if they have the opportunity to change that to the best and be able to change the world to the better, why not? And so many celebrities have the power to do so. This is why I'm really going to talk about Sandra Oh and her impact on the community around her. And it's also very important to understand that celebrities, they have followers, and when you have followers, you can be the leadership to these followers, and when someone is unaware of a situation, they're able to bring awareness to what's going on and why this is happening, and how, we could stop that potentially in the future from happening, or at least being able to be a part of the change that could possibly happen. So before we dig deeper into this topic, I kind of want to talk about who Sandra Oh is, and really so you could get a little image of who she is. You might know her from Killing Eve, or even from the famous Christina Yang from Grey's Anatomy. So personally, I watched Grey's Anatomy, and it's one of my favorite shows. Yes, it's very sad. Yes, it will literally break your heart. But she is one of the best actresses out there. She's phenomenal. She can bring every scene to the best of its core. And I mean, that's an understatement, because if you watched how she acts, you'll understand what I'm talking about. One of the best. She deserves all the recognition out there. So I kind of want to talk deeper into who she is first, and then we'll definitely talk about why she has an impact and why this is important to her. So Sandra Oh is a Canadian actress. She was born on July 20, 1971 in Ottawa, Canada. She is the daughter of Korean immigrants, hint as to why this is a part of what we're talking about in our topic. And she started performances, her career started as a child, really, and she was talented ever since then. She has won many awards, she was nominated for many, but she's really, really known for Grey's Anatomy as Dr. Christina Yang, like I mentioned, and one of her biggest roles right now is in Killing Eve. Sandra Oh's performance on Grey's Anatomy won her the Golden Globe, and she even got Emmy nominations as well. She even was heavily recognized for her role in Killing Eve. Sandra Oh was nominated for an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, which was obviously for Killing Eve, which made her the first woman of Asian descent to be honored, and that tells you a lot. And in 2018, she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a TV Drama, making history as the first woman of Asian descent to win the award. And not to mention, she also hosted the ceremony that year, which also made her the first woman of Asian descent to host the Golden Globes. As you can tell, that was like the third time that night, and making history that night was for her, really. And, she was the first woman of Asian descent to win multiple Golden Globes, and that is awesome. And you kind of understand now who she is and why she is such a great actress and a human being as well. Now, let's talk about what's been going on in the world. On March 16th, 2021, there was a mass shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, that targeted spas and massage parlors. And 8 people were killed, 6 of whom were Asian women. While the motive is unknown, a lot of people say it's, a hate crime, and that's how a lot of people see it. The majority of people see it that way, the majority of the Asian community, and really people that can comprehend that. But according to the police, they described his actions as being the result of a sex addiction that conflicted with his religious beliefs. So who knows? But this has sparked fears of lack of security among, our Asian community, and I don't blame them, especially that where it happened, how it happened, all of that. And this is why I'm going to talk about Sandra Oh, because she did attend a protest and spoke against what's going on. Sandra Oh made a surprise appearance at a protest that said that was really behind, the Asian hate crimes, and it was, the Stop Asian Hate demonstration in Oakland, Pittsburgh, where she spoke to protesters and everyone there. And this is what she said. She said, "Hi, my name is Sandra Oh. Pittsburgh, I'm so happy and proud to be here with you, and thank you to all the organizers for organizing this, just to give us an opportunity to be together and stand together and feel each other. For many of us in our community, this is the first time we are even able to voice our fear and our anger, and I really am so grateful for everyone willing to listen." And someone posted the video of her speaking out, and Ellen Pompeo even quote tweeted the tweet on Twitter, and she said, "You belong here," with a heart, and she said, "Love her." God, the whole Ellen Pompeo and Sandra Oh love. I love the support. It makes my heart warm, especially that I love their relationship on Grey's Anatomy, Meredith Grey and Christina Yang. They were the whole you guys know the whole slogan of "You are my person." The friendship behind it is Christina Yang and Meredith Grey. I just kind of had to say that because it's iconic. But anyways, back to our topic. Sandra Oh also said, "One thing that I know, many of us in our community are very scared. And I understand that, and one way to go through our fear is to reach out to our community. I will challenge everyone here. If you see something, will you help me? If you see one of our sisters and brothers in need, will you help us? As Asian Americans, we just need to reach out our hands to our sisters and brothers and say, 'Help me, and I'm here.'" That's such a beautiful speech to say to someone, especially that a lot of people do need support in many ways. And I think it's lovely that she also said, "I am proud to be Asian. I belong here." Many of us don't get the chance to be able to say that, so I just wanted to give us an opportunity to be able to shout that. Thank you so much. Honestly, what a phenomenal person. I love that she went out there and spoke for her community and was the support, and reached out for them and made sure that they are supported and loved. And I think that's a factor that comes with being a celebrity or someone with an influence, is that you have the power to make an impact, and you have the power to change someone's life, and you have the power to motivate others to be better, or motivate others to change their mindset about a certain community. And if someone is unaware of what's going on in the world, or is unaware of what's going on around them, or the situation that someone is in, a celebrity or someone with an influence could really have that greater influence on someone, because, one word or one post could reach out to millions and millions, and that could shift so many perspectives. And I think that could spark a type of impact or a type of power on others, for them to be able to sway those around them, especially if it was on social media or in person. Lana Condor, she is a very famous actress as well. I think to most of young adults, she is the star of the To All the Boys trilogy. And she took to Twitter to urge her followers to wake up. She tweeted and said, "Wake up, your Asian friends and family are deeply scared, horrified, sick to their stomachs, and wildly angry. Please, please, please check in on us. Please, please, please stand with us. Please. Your Asian friends need you, even if they aren't publicly grieving on social media." She also said, "Anthony told me last night he's afraid for me to go to the nail salon. This is not a world we should live in." And I agree with you, Lana. This is not how the world should be. No one should be afraid of going to the grocery store. No one should be afraid of getting their nails done. I think this is so unfair. I know this is unfair. Even Charles Melton, if you don't know him, he is one of the stars on Riverdale. He also spoke about his biracial identity and his mom, who is Korean, and the treatment she's been through. He said, "I remember people talking down to my mother as if she didn't belong." He also said it demoned her, and it and in turn triggered something in me that I've long buried deep inside, a truth that at my young age I didn't know how to protect her, and it broke my heart. Guys, I hope you're enjoying my sister's cat. She's in the background sometimes, and I can't tell her to be quiet, but I tried. Anyways, he also did say that the hate crimes that have swept the country have forced me to realize how important the platform I have is and the responsibility that comes with it. And Brianna said, what happened yesterday in Atlanta was brutal, tragic, and is certainly not an isolated incident by any means. I'm heartbroken for the Asian community, and my heart is with the loved ones of those we lost. The hate must stop. She said that in a tweet. And many celebrities, did use their voice to make an impact or share awareness of what's going on. Even Gemma Chan, she is the lead actress for, Crazy Rich Asians and the Captain Marvel actor. She posted on Instagram, and she urged her followers to pay attention to what's going on. She said on her Instagram post, heartbroken for the families of the 8 victims, 6 of whom were Asian women. Please pay attention to what is happening. This is the latest in a surge of horrific attacks on the Asian community. Racism and misogyny are not mutually exclusive. In fact, sexualized racial harassment and violence is something that many of us face regularly. And she also did ask her followers to please spread awareness and to check in on their Asian friends, because a lot of them are not okay and a lot of them live in fear. She also said, educate yourself and others on the model minority myth and the long history of the anti-Asian racism. And she also did link in her bio for those who wanted to donate to organizations that belong to Asian communities, and to help stop the Asian. And not to mention celebrities having the power to influence and gather that information to link, for those who want to help and spread awareness or to support organizations is, I think, remarkable. So, if you have an opportunity, go ahead and check those links or check what's going on around you. And if your favorite celebrity is talking about it, pay attention to it. Anyways, that was for this segment, and stay tuned because our last segment is going to be featuring my sister, and we're going to be talking about On My Block. Can't wait.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is the podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
Hello guys, and welcome back. So right now we are going to be talking about On My Block, like I said, featuring my sister. But before we start with that, let's talk about what we talked about previously in our last segment. So we talked about David Dobrik, David, Kylie Jenner, and then we also topped it off with the whole Sandra Oh coming out to speak against what's going on with the Asian community around us, and spreading awareness and supporting what's going on, and making an impact on her fans and trying, to be supportive towards the Asian community around her. Now I want to talk about On My Block. Before I talk about it, I do want to say that this is one of my favorite shows on Netflix. I know I kind of say that about everything, but to be honest, this show will literally, you love it. Watch it. There's 3 seasons right now, and there's a 4th season coming soon. The show is kind of like you know when you're in love with something and you only seen it like once or twice, or you see like an episode of it and you just directly just fall in love with it and you just want to keep watching and watching every scene of it. It's kind of like that. And you kind of can watch it with anyone. It's for all ages. You know, I would watch it with my mom and she would understand what's going on. I would watch it with my teenage sister and she'd relate and she'd love it. So it's kind of for everyone, but at the same time, it'll relate to a lot of people as well. So this show, I feel like it's dark humor, but it's at the same time, there's a lot of depth to it, and there is comedy, you know, there's a bright side to it. It navigates a lot of different problems as well that we all experience, and obstacles, whether it was poverty, racism, different obstacles. We kind of see it or read about it, and you know, and this tackles it, and this show really tackles it a lot. I also do want to mention something that the show does have a lot of diverse representation. It also does a lot of positive, it sends off a lot of positive messages. It tackles a lot of problems teenagers go through, and not only teenagers, but really anyone goes through like on a daily basis. And they do it in really smart ways that connect to the audience fully. So the show talks about 4 friends growing up in South Central LA. The friends are very close to each other. They're very supportive of one another, but they all go through their own obstacles and their challenges, and we kind of see that. They get jumped. One of them goes through mental health issues. They talk about dating. They all go through different obstacles, and we kind of go deep into what's going on. We kind of see how each one of them takes care of one another. I don't want to go deeper into it because I don't want to spoil anything for those who have not watched the show. But I do want to say there are heavy topics that they cover, and you know, you need to be mature to watch it. So if you do want to watch it with your kid, make sure you're next to them so they understand what's going on, or if they feel uncomfortable, you kind of are there to support them through it, or if you don't feel comfortable with them watching it, that's also understandable. But just make sure you guys know that the show does cover a lot of heavy topics, but at the same time there's a lot of comedy to it, and each friend has a different character to them, so that's kind of special and different. So I feel like you need to let your kids watch it so they can see the different diversity that a lot of people have. So with the new season coming out, they shared the news around January, I believe. Yes, Netflix confirmed that there's going to be a final season on Twitter. The squad is going to be linking up for their last adventure, and it's going to be coming back for its 4th and final season. I know, sad final season, but there's at least going to be another season. Why I'm talking about it right now is because they just started filming the show. Many cast members celebrated being back on set, and many of them posted photos on their Instagram pages. You know, they shared pictures of the cast being back together, all masked up, you know, COVID. And then they captioned them, and they're all excited to be really back. And they confirmed that a lot of characters are also going to be on the show. Again, spoilers, I'm not going to say why they confirmed that, but if you watch the show, the season finale for season 3 was very shocking to many of us. So that's why they kind of confirmed some of the news or some of the surprises we are guessing. One of the characters on the show, Caesar, he shaves his full head. So the actor went to Instagram and posted a video of himself. You know, he shaved his head on his first day back, and then he showed the transformation on Instagram. He captioned it, "First day officially back, shooting the last season of On My Block. Comment your predictions." So before I bring my sister to this, I just want to say she is going to be with me today because we both binge the show together. We literally would stay up all night together just watching the show, and it's kind of like a tradition now that we do with the show, is that every time the season comes out, we would binge it together. Like, none of us would watch it on our own, so it's kind of like a tradition with us now. So that's why I'm bringing her, because we're going to be discussing the new season and, you know, updates on who our favorite characters are and why. So the one and only, my sister Sundos, is with us right now. Sundos, talk about yourself for a bit.
Hey everybody, I'm a UC student at DAP, and I'm currently studying fine arts. I love all things art, and that also includes movies and TV shows, so I hyperfixate on stuff like this a lot, so expect some very critical opinions.
So, talk about On My Block. How excited are you for the show?
I'm so excited, especially after the ending of season 3, which
no
was...
spoilers, though.
No spoilers, obviously, but huge cliffhanger, and for 2 years now, we expected it to be the last one, so that was...
Oh, yeah, they left us literally 2 years guessing what's going on, and we still don't know what's going to happen, but...
Yeah, it was incredibly jarring, you know? So it's very exciting to know that there's going to be one last final season to really wrap the entire show
We also
up.
thought there wasn't going to be a season 4, remember? How
Right.
they left us, like, literally hanging without no
Right.
news, nothing,
Exactly.
and then they were like, okay, well, now you have a season 4, like, late, like, was it, like, 6 months after the show, the third season or something?
No, it was after the pandemic.
So it's
Still, I mean, we're currently still in the pandemic, but it was just recently announced a few weeks ago, possibly.
the start of the season 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the announcement.
It was
on Netflix.
We were shocked. We were literally screaming when we found out that the show's gonna have another season. Unfortunately, it's the last season though, so that's sad. But
But on a good note,
we're gonna have an ending.
Yeah,
This is gonna be wrapped
It's
up.
not just that though. Like, I suppose what's also nice about it is that the actors get along really well in real life. Like, they're very close.
Oh yeah,
friends.
just to mention my sister, because she's an artist, she drew a scene that was on the show, and the actors themselves recognized her work, and they posted. Who was it? She reposted her picture on your
both
art piece.
Jessica Marie Garcia and Brett, the ones that play Jasmine and Jamal, they both liked and shared my artwork. It was pretty.
How was that
That was pretty exciting.
for you to be recognized for
Hell
your
yeah.
hard work?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially by the actors of a
Shameless
show.
plug, Sundus.
Shameless plug. Follow me on my Instagram at Sindus Studio for occasional artwork. Although I've been lacking in that department, at least, my own art that doesn't include schoolwork. So
We will give her an excuse because she
Unfortunate.
is a full-time student right now.
I am. It's stressful.
So, who's your favorite character on the show and why?
Two of my favorite. That's the thing. I was just gonna bring it up.
But make sure you don't.
I'm not
throw
gonna
out of
spoil
spoilers.
anything. But I was saying that my favorite two characters, Jamal and Jasmine. What was really exciting about getting my artwork noticed was that both of my favorite characters as actors were the ones that noticed my artwork. And I thought that was really cool. I think that especially Jasmine, she doesn't get as
The
much
character
recognition.
development for
Oh, absolutely.
Jasmine, the first season she wasn't very relevant as the last season, and I think the writers in the beginning didn't think her character was going to get a lot of attachment from others, and a lot of people wouldn't find her.
Yeah, she came in the beginning of the series in season 1. She was just basically a guest star, and then
she captivated so many people.
Yeah,
and
she
a
talked.
lot of people loved her.
The actress herself, Jessica Marie Garcia, she talked to the creators, and they were like, "Yeah, absolutely, we want you to
have a bigger role."
Yeah, and
a more
she became like a
important role.
series regular because of it. Now, honestly, so deserved, especially after her character development in season 2, which I highly recommend.
Also,
you
the
guys
actress
watch.
herself, isn't she 28?
No, she's 32.
She's 32, guys, and she
Playing a
plays
15-year-old.
15-year-old. I would literally go right now and search her up. You would not even guess that she's above 20. She plays her so well, and the way she depicts the whole character is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And
She has so many layers within her.
It's so many layers. You would never guess the amount of layers, and that goes back to the writers as well, because when you watch her, you would never guess that she has such a big storyline. But I think for me, her storyline is the most interesting because of the amount of layers that's hidden inside the character.
I think it's also the way that she's portrayed as well. Like on kind of an exterior level, she comes off as this, very how do I say this? I almost want to say flamboyant character. She's very wild and loud. But the more you get to know her, she's just this...
The more you understand that she kind of hides
she's very
her
understanding
feelings behind
and
a shadow or behind...
loyal, and she's just a really good, well and developed character.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that the show, what makes the show special is the fact there's a lot of representation on the show that we lack to see on TV a lot. And I think
brown kids.
Especially brown kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously there's a lot going on the show that for dramatic reasons, but at the same time, we don't get to see a lot of people of color given opportunities on TV.
It's not only that, but I feel like there's like certain stereotypes that come with people. It breaks stereotypes. Yeah, with people of color, and especially like brown Hispanics and brown Latinos, Latinx people. It's nice and very refreshing to see kind of a different side of what stereotypes are always portraying in Hollywood and in the media. And I know that what goes to factor in this is are the writers themselves being in these kinds of situations themselves when they were children and when they were kids, growing up in these kinds of neighborhoods and wanting to basically like project that into their storylines and doing it really well. But we also get this very new side of what kids and teenagers specifically
go through,
act like. And it's just not something that that's portrayed so often in media and in TV shows.
Because I think it's really important to add the factor that being realistic on TV sometimes gives parents even the opportunity to see what their child might go through, and they can't see that,
Yeah.
A lot of that could be clues that are hidden.
And I think a lot of people just
that opens their eyes to things.
Yeah, I think people can feel a certain, not just representation, but connection to these characters because
you feel relatable.
Yeah, exactly. They're relatable. Like, I see myself within this character because
it becomes like your comfort
They're
character.
so real, exactly.
Right, and you want to go back to the character, and that's why a lot of people get excited for another season because that character relates to them. Yeah. So the more you see it,
it's such a refreshing show. Like, genuinely, I've never seen any kind of show like on my block,
because there's so much depth to it, but at the same time there's comedy to it.
Yeah,
and there's
just
dark
like
humor.
A little bit,
there's everything.
It's a little bit of everything, and it's just a very well.
It's
produced.
Spiced up for sure.
For sure.
For sure. But anyways, we don't have much time, but it was great having you. We'll definitely have her for more segments soon. Stay tuned. She'll definitely be talking more. She has a lot of opinions about a lot of shows.
I do.
She has watched almost everything on Netflix, maybe Hulu as well. But thank you for being on the GSMC podcast with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, okay, guys. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. That would really help us. Also, if you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you, and see you next week.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.